Hello, everybody.
Hello there.
We've touched on a few heavy subjects the last few weeks. We've been busy, but when we had recordings, conversation recordings, it was the focus was a little bit heavy
And serious.
and serious,
Yeah.
necessary. Um, we touched on the whole issue or the retreat around grieving. That was very meaningful, but a difficult subject. And then last week, um, where we looked at the fact that I'm not what happened to me. In other words, what made me? How did I react to it? And all of that. And in a way, we link onto that in the sense of what is it that really identifies us if we take it in a general sense? And if we no longer here, what is the mark we will likely leave behind, the heritage or whatever? And the other thing is, what is the strange quirks? Uh,
Which is often they the things that people
mm,
remember. I
mm,
mean, you remember the important things, but then what made that person really special are those little things that you only knew because you lived close to them. They
mm,
were your parents or your spouse, so you really knew them very well.
mm,
And there's these little things that
mm.
that was unique to them.
And if you think back to your own parents or family members, friends, then you recall those small little things and the things that you laughed about and the things that really made them uniquely them.
Yeah, yeah. So in the Afrikaans version, you ask me what I would like people to remember me by. So let me ask you now.
Well, in a more serious, on a more serious tone, you touched on it in the Afrikaans one as well, but that's something that I thought that would be nice. Is if people can remember me uh, for my inquisitiveness. I'm very interested in people, in listening to people, what they are doing, what their interests are, uh, what their skills are, and what I can learn from that. So it's always this longing to hear more because the world is so interesting and the people in the world is so interesting. So um, people might say, yeah, George might ask a question now at this point or something like
I
that.
think they will also say that you were really interested in them. People really feel that by the way that you ask questions. It's not just um, conversation that's on the surface. You're really interested in their lives, in how they think, what they're doing, and all of that. And it's really important to you to know people that way. So yeah, yeah. I think for me, it boils down to wanting to make to have a positive impact on people's lives. To um, yeah, to for them to remember me by from my warmth or my something that I could have contributed to their lives. Um, yeah, I think it's we were talking about that in the Afrikaans version. Something that we don't really know is how people perceive us,
Yes.
and it differs. I think people that know you very well, there's often these baggage in our lives that makes us come across differently because of perspectives. But generally, how do people perceive us? We don't really know.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
It's a pity often that you're not there at your funeral so that you can see the eulogy and what they think.
Maybe we
Well,
are.
yeah, well,
Yeah. Oh,
That's
wow.
nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I knew this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah.
seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah. We're making light of this, but
Yeah.
yeah, so but then again also those little idiosyncrasies, those things that are so uniquely a person
Mm.
that you haven't experienced in somebody else before. Like with you eating, if George eats everything that he really enjoys, with the tiniest spoon that he can possibly find, so that he can stretch it, he says. The smaller the spoon, the longer this will last.
So maybe I must start looking for a one-tooth fork as well. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
can
how
you
long
imagine?
that
Yeah,
might
and
take?
with all the talking in between, how long you will take to eat then.
Maybe with chopsticks.
Yeah, that's it. But you can get
Yes.
quick with chopsticks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but to stretch
Yeah.
the joy of a
At least
good
you eat
treat.
soup with a soup spoon.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And idiosyncrasy of yours, that's how you say it, hey?
I think so. If
Yeah.
we're not saying it right, we apologize.
You can correct us.
Yeah.
Is you have a thing with numbers?
Yeah. Yeah. I sort of, I wouldn't call it compulsively. I would rather call it just, it's a habit to count, to always be counting. So if I walk.
It is a compulsive habit. In whichever way you look
I
at
don't
it.
know. I don't know. But I can also not count. If I put my mind to it, I cannot count.
Okay.
So, but I do count. When I walk from our house to the retreat house, I'll be counting the steps. Even though I know how many steps there are, and I know more or less where halfway is because I've worked it out. And it's just something that happens in my head. So I know how many tiles there are in our bathroom. And if I lie in the bath, I'll look at the tiles, and I like to do those sums with the rows and the columns and work it out. And then I work out the dimensions of the wall. And it's just something that my mind does. Or I'll be knitting, and even though I know how many stitches, I will be counting the stitches while I'm knitting. So, yeah, it's just something that I do.
And another thing of you that I'll remember is the natural cures that you
prescribe everybody.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's very important to you. You'd rather follow a natural route than a curative, a synthetic route.
The natural route will also be curative, I promise you.
Oh.
It might take longer though. Yeah. And that's the problem. Yeah. No, I do. My children say I feed them leaves and tea made of leaves. But yeah, I do believe that nature can heal us, and that I use it as much as I can, and believe in it to such an extent that I will force you to drink the
We'll remember you so fondly.
the bitter herb tea. Yeah, I have something for the cough as well. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think for me, in terms of your day-to-day life, the importance that writing has, and words, and the way you go about that, and so but then also all your other interests and skills, and how they blend so beautifully. I always say, when George puts on his overall on a Sunday, it's not because he's going to work on the pipe that's leaking. He will be sitting and writing if it's a Sunday and he puts on his overalls, because that's how he enjoys writing, with his overalls. That makes him feel comfortable. So there's these little things that I'll remember. I might remember him more for working, for writing in his overalls than for
working in my
Yeah,
overalls.
which he does all the time. But that would be a normal thing to do.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so yeah, there's so many little things. I think of my dad with his. He always wore little hats. My brother used to bring him little hats. It made him look so. It gave him such a personality.
Mm.
And glasses. He really could wear glasses and look like somebody from the mafia.
Yeah, yeah.
He had such a personality. And
But I think it also, when we talk about this, actually we constantly come around back to the beauty of being human, what makes us unique, um, that we're not all cut from the same cloth, and to really take time to appreciate. We say when we're no longer there, but to appreciate people while they are still here. Um, uh, that is really something to cherish.
yeah.
Yeah, so just a little more of a light-hearted uh, conversation this week. If you have interesting quirks
Quirks.
or strangeness that you want to share, we'd love to hear from you. But we'll talk again next week. Keep well in the meantime.
Have a good week.